It's Ivy Slater, and you're listening to Her Success Story podcast, a show where gutsy businesswomen share their success journey. Hi, this is Ivy Slater. Welcome to today's episode of Her Success Story. So this has been the season that we've been talking a lot about mergers and acquisitions. For those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, you might have seen some postings on it. For those of you who follow me on my newsletter, you might have seen some written material as well as some videos that I've done on it. It seems as we're coming to this point in 2022, a bunch of different companies are thinking about either acquiring another company, selling their company, or merging and combining two companies. In the business world, this is often referred to as M&A, mergers and acquisitions. Interestingly enough, I truly never saw myself as much of an expert at this and never really hunkered in to help companies with this specifically. Yet, as this was starting to happen with a variety of different clients or different opportunities were coming through that we were evaluating, it got me thinking about my past. And I said, wow, I've merged a business. I've done different things like this. I've sold a business. I've done different things like this. Even my husband has merged his company, sold a company, bought a company. We've done different things. And I realized, well, I might not consider myself an expert on this per se, yet I have some really clear thoughts about mergers and acquisitions. And maybe it's time to start letting my thoughts out in the world, and hopefully they could be an asset and a help to you if opportunity is presenting itself. So first, let's kick things off. If somebody says, hey, I'm thinking of slowing down and I wanted to look to somebody to take over my business. That could be looked at as acquiring. Sometimes in the legal field, they'll come in as a counsel or you'll acquire their book of business. And that could be in legal, in the world of finance. Interesting ways to look at it. Several of my clients have been approached recently and said, hey, I'm looking to slow down and want to have conversations about what I'm going to do with the business, my business, or my book of business. The first thing in this instance is to say, okay, is there what they have to offer of interest to your company and why? That is the first question I ask myself, is what they have to offer of interest to my company, and if so, why? How would it benefit me? In any kind of merger or acquisition, we want to create win-wins for both organizations. And that's always my goal in these processes, creating a win-win. When I look at a win-win, I look at what's best for my company or my client's company, as well as, is this a great solution or great opportunity for the other company? I like to be objective. Because when we go into this and a win-win is creative, we have more potential for long-term success. When you're merging two companies, again, I look for what is the benefit to bring these companies together. So don't think I'm crazy, but one of the things I look for is on the leadership team, are their values aligned? Are their values aligned? The way they lead their teams, the way they lead their families, if they're family people, if they're, parents or, have a family responsibility of any thought. The way somebody leads goes back to that saying of how you do anything is how you do everything. So when we see leadership is how we show up overall. So I look at how they're leading their employees, their team, as well as how they're leading and how they're showing up as a leader for their families. So here's a couple of nuts and bolts things that I think would be a great asset to share. Number one, and again, you could laugh. I think it's a little funny. It might be a little rudimentary, but take a piece of paper, take an Excel spreadsheet. Depending upon your age, your comfort zone, they both work. Do a very simple, straightforward pro and con list. What are the advantages of merger, acquiring, or selling? Right? Will it bring in business? Will it bring in profits? What do these numbers really look like? What information do I really have? What information do I actually need and don't have as of yet? How would this benefit my personal life? Will it be an asset to me, or will it be another heavy responsibility? Is that something I want to do for a few years, take on that responsibility to get the long-term win, or am I not at the right time in my life to do this? We have to look at the whole opportunity, personal as well as business. When aligns in both situations, we really have that double win. Also look at cons. Nothing comes without a con. If you can't find a con, then you're not looking deep enough or hard enough. Okay. What if it blows up? There's a con. Okay. What is the repercussions? How do you protect yourself from that? What if it's not what you thought it was going to be? What if you're putting money behind this and you have a potential of losing any money, right? Look at everything with a clear head, a clear eye, and review this with your trusted advisor group. Please, if you do not have a trusted group of advisors or that circle of confidence, we can put it in that leadership team. We can call it a lot of things, but I look at it as my trusted group of advisors. I look at it as a great business attorney. I like my business attorney to have a great business head, not just a legal head, but a business and a legal head. I want my accountant to have a great ability to troubleshoot and poke holes at all the financial numbers that we're looking through. Not just tell me what the blank means, like the P&L leads forward, but let's look a little deeper. Dig into things, look under the surface. You know, when you're going to buy a car and you look under that hood, probably I'm not that person to do that. I don't know what I'm looking at, right? So I want somebody I know, I trust to do that. So that attorney, that accountant, CFO, if you're working with a mentor, a coach, a consultant, another clear head to band ideas with, toss that idea. I look at like tossing the ball around and running the same scenario by all the different people, and then going back around again, seeing what the advantage is and what the con is. I like to work with a good banker. Okay. Financing is important, and creating a financial future for your company is vitally important. So I can pick up the phone and call my banker. I can call my banker and say, hey, if we're looking to buy something, buying an organization, do we want a line of credit? How are we going to acquire it? How are we going to merge? What about the old accounts, the new accounts? What is this going to look like? I want my banker at a phone call away, not an online situation away. Call me a little old school, but I like to pick up the phone and have a conversation with somebody. I know then my assets are the best protected. Check in with your family, check in with yourself. Take that quiet time to think through, take a walk outside, right? Let things digest. See what's best for you and go into this with a clear head. Anytime you're unsure, that's okay. Ask the questions. If you continue to be unsure, ask more questions. If you're unsure about your circle of advisors, get another one in group. Don't sit back and say, oh, I guess it's okay. I guess is never good enough, and never good enough in a situation like this. Be clear-headed, be confident, and be certain. A long time ago, when I merged one of my companies, I was given advice from an attorney who I admired and respected completely. And he said, here, Ivy, it says here that if the company goes defunct, if you want to, actually, no, he didn't say that. I'm going to rephrase this. He said, if you want to leave, they keep your book of business. And I pushed back on them. I said, they can't retain my book of business. It's of no value to them without me because I'm the client relation. And I'm not going to sign that because my book of business is my lifeline. And he said to me, he goes, most people, companies won't sign that. I said, I'll walk away. That's my hard line in the sand. And I knew what my hard line in the sand is. And that's why I'm sharing this story. Know your hard line in the sand, when you're going to walk away and when you're not, what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not willing to compromise on. Most importantly, I know at the end of the day, I want to keep my head on the pillow. And that's very high value to me. When I put my head on the pillow, it's clear I've done everything that is possible to better myself, to better my business, to better my clients, etc. So that's my final piece, is when I could put my head on the pillow with a clear conscience, a clear head, and knowing in my heart and my gut, I'm making the right decision, I will sign on a dotted line. And I will also know that my values are respected there. If you have questions or comments about this content episode with mergers and acquisitions, please let me know. No, we just finished a series on that was wonderful, Women Leaders in Technology. I had amazing conversations. And soon we're going to be moving into this time of year where we have a series on leaders in the nonprofit world. I'm looking forward, and I appreciate you tuning into today's episode of Her Success Story. I appreciate you tuning into Her Success Story in general. If this was interesting to you, please feel free to leave a comment below. Share it with a colleague, a friend that this could be helpful with. And of course, subscribe. See you next time.